Violence, names missing from the voters' register, voters succeeding in preventing the Electoral Commission officials from holding the elections, and low turnout in some places. Those are some incidents that marred what has so far been a very peaceful process to elect assembly members and unit committee representatives across the country. At least one person has been reported stabbed in Salaga in the Savannah region. In Ekumfi, Emuna, the EC called off the votes due to threats issued by the residents. The residents say they would not allow anyone to step into the community to campaign, let alone take their votes, since their roads are deplorable. We have analysis of this and a host of other issues, including many who cannot find their names in the register. We hear from the Electoral Commission on how these challenges are being resolved. Well, we'll talk to you about what happened in Ekumfi Imuna today when we're joined by our correspondent Richard Kojonyako. But first, my colleague Komla Adom was out and about here in the capital, and here is his report.
Late arrival of electoral materials to some voting centers, low turnout hours after polls opened, and a general seeming lack of interest among a section of the public. An apt summary of events at some voting centers in Accra earlier today.
It's past 9 a.m. We are here at the Kotobabi 1 school, where there are a number of polling centers here. I told you about 7 polling centers here. Voting has started in many of them, but officials tell us that it's been a slow process so far. Let me speak to one of the electoral officials here. He's in the name of Mr. Hokonovi.
So far we have about 14 people who have casted their votes so far.
And would you say it's been a very smooth process?
For my center, it's been very smooth, just that voters are not coming in, to come and cast their vote.
Okay, do we know the average numbers that we're expecting here?
So far we are expecting about 570 to come.
So far we have only
14 people.
Do they know what they're about in terms of what they are coming to vote for exactly?
Some of them, come here and realize that their candidates are not here, because during the registration period, most of them, came down from the other side to come and register. So they realize that later they realize their candidate is at the other side, and then they have to just do and vote for somebody and then leave.
We're expecting 570 people. So it's a long day here. We will be trying to get some more from officials from the 6 other centers that are dotted around here, the Kotobabi Basic School. And as you can see, that is one of the polling centers. We're told that the voting materials got here sometime late, and so it has delayed the process at that particular polling center. But there is another polling center here. I will be speaking to the presiding officer for that particular polling center.
464 voters.
Okay. Yeah, and out of a number, it's past 9 o'clock. How many people have come so far?
We have less than 10. We have less than 10 voters who have turned up.
After about 15 minutes of pitching camp at the Nima cluster of schools, not one voter showed up. But electoral officials confirmed 14 people had cast their vote at one of the 2 stations. Presiding officer at the second center would not say a word to us about the process. 4 polling centers at the Arts Center also saw a low turnout at the time of our visit. Out of an expected voter turnout of 800 for one of the centers, only 39 had undergone the process. Assembly member aspirant for the area, Joseph Oko Adokwe, told JoyNews his checks from some areas revealed a smooth process, but for one woman who ditched the process to return to work when she was told her name could not be found in the register.
So far so good. We have not encountered any bad experience. Everything is moving on successfully. Everything is good here. So far, I have also been to many police stations, which the turnout is very great, like the Chief Palace, like the Divine Healers, and the CDR. And even some of the boxes here in our center also shown up that the turnout is great. Yeah.
And you say that from your rounds, there's been no incidents of people not finding their names or people being at the wrong place and etc.
Initially, early in the morning, we just encountered one with a lady. She said she went to check the name and the name was not there. So they called the presiding officer to come in. But she also have to rush to the workplace, so she just left. And I also had a call with one friend who also want to vote, and they said the name wasn't there.
The situation at Kinka in Jamestown was no different.
We're still on a roving expedition trying to observe and monitor the district level elections. We are currently at the Jamestown school, where out of a total number of 427 voters at the Jamestown School Polling Station A, only about 42 people have cast their vote as at midday. We are told that the turnout has been slow, hitch-free process so far. And presiding officers and the electoral officials say they expect, the numbers to increase significantly before close of polls at 5 p.m.
Our checks at 5 more polling stations revealed a largely incident-free process. At the Simpe Manchawe voting center in Jamestown, a near scuffle between an agent of one of the candidates and the presiding officials greeted the news team. A horde of young people had gathered around the center to throw their weight behind their candidates. Presiding officer Justice Forson had to intervene. He tells me mobile phones of 4 others had been seized earlier.
So far from Simpe 1, we have 165. We are expecting 835 and we have 165.
A short time ago, I saw that one of the guys was going to cast his vote and you had to intervene. What was the situation about?
Per the EC laws, we are not supposed to cast a vote and take a shot. When you do that, we take the phone from you. So I saw him picking up his phone, showing it on the ballot, they go for money. So when they come, they vote, they want to send it to the aspirant to see that they've been, yes. So when it happens, I have to seize the phone. I have seized a couple of 4 phones. So my station, when they come and do that, I'll take the phone from you. After, if you don't comply by law, I'll give you to the police and they will handle it.
So would you say the police has cooperated with you very well on that?
Exactly.
After a good few minutes, calm was restored for voting to continue.
So that is Komla Adom's report. He went up, he was out and about here in Accra. We're still here in Accra, and I'm taking you to Agbogloshi, where the main issues were low voter turnout and missing names. Let's begin with missing names.
Before we have the vote, because me, Roma, there's so many 4 places I go before I get the vote. But the thing, this now, the way they change the thing, we don't understand. The place we are voting now, if you go there, you won't get your name.
What did they say is the problem?
The problem that the other people tell that the thing, the machine spoil. You see, and they bring different one. But the way we tire before we get a vote is not fine, because they change the polling stations, the names. You go here, they will tell you that go here, you go here, go here. So now the way they change the thing, make us fine, we don't feel. The place we are voting, we vote there. But if you go there, let you go different place. Keep it on, like say 1 hour before I get my place, I go vote. We're tired. So I saw some women, plenty women, if they go, they not get. They say here they are vote. We know women. If you go, they will talk, say you should go here. If you go 2 places, you won't go anywhere again. You see, it make we are tired. So therefore look the thing well.
Actually, when I come here, to say me buy and not almost me go check me we me call first me call C column almost me didn't know, me call 8 column almost me didn't know. Me buy and almost getting to 1 hour now. My name there also. Until I feel I almost actually me say me go baby fufu na me go check me din. Me so my name the entire dey na basa. Register correct. I be check here so see me buy so me won there also. Almost me go another place be I want to see me say me ntimi say what am bit matter about na me ntimi nto.
Apa no ye bre ye din ni mu fiti anopa me ba. Sesia ni me nya me din. Say me check ya mabre.
Almost within him. Dientia.
Me name. The sea ni me nya fiti no past 6 o'clock me ba.
Ba no past 6.
Yes.
And we are best 12 now. Who din?
Say sea ni me hu me din. sese a ne me hu me de nti omo hwe ye wo ho pa se omo pese omo hwe omo bie ba ko mienu a omo se me udi ni mo na hye mu no a nti omo hwe ye ya bre wa no bebre be ba ha omo hwe ye papa nya sa de a de be ba no abre wa obayi ne hu nyila no de ni nam kuro.
Well, that's the point about those who went and didn't find their names, the issue about missing names, which we'll be getting some clarification on from the Electoral Commission. But EC officials themselves on the ground had some complaints that they had to sit for several hours before a few voters started showing up. We're going back to Agbogbloshie.
All right, I'm Yusuf Ama, and I'm the PO, polling officer here for Old Fadama polling station B. So far, it's been good. We start work by 7:30. Voting is in process, and for now, everything is calm and everything is in control. We are expecting 803 polling voters to come and vote, cast their votes.
And how many do you have now?
Now we have around 40 who has voted. Yeah, mostly around this area. They don't come early. It's around when the time is closing. They close from their market areas, and then they will bump on us. So we are just hoping this time around the assembly members will go around and call and come and vote so that we can close in time. But we are expecting them to come at a later part because that's what they do. The market women, they don't leave their market to come and vote. Around 4:35, then you see them running to come and vote. It doesn't cause problem, but it also makes our work go into the deep night. Because any voter who is in the queue by 5 p.m. is allowed to vote. And that will cause our way to go deep into the night.
In the morning, it started slow from 8, but from 9 going, started picking up, people started coming because of the market activities where we are, Agbogbloshie, you know. So, in fact, we are managing. We are hoping that as the day goes by, they may be trooping to vote or cast their ballot. Today is Tuesday. A lot of people have gone to work. So we are expecting that at the end of the day, they may be coming from, let's say, 3 o'clock, thereabouts, to, let's say, 5. Maybe the turn-up might go up. So that's what we are expecting. But for now, this is the situation on the ground. Turnout is so low. In total, we have 8 police stations. We have 772 voters. And as we are speaking now, we have less than 50 people coming to vote. So that is quite on the low side. So 50 out of 7 or 800 is on the low side.
So those are some of the outcomes of the elections so far today. What you just heard is from Agbogbloshie. So we've been here in Accra. We'll take you up north as well to find out what is happening there. But let us know your thoughts, especially concerning Ekumfi. We'll tell you how people were burning tires today and there was actually no votes there. So that's the number on your screen. Send us your thoughts. What do you think? What we are seeing now, what the implications are for 2020, what we're seeing, the implication of what we're seeing now in today's election with what happened in 2020. We'll tell you more about what happened in Ekumfi. But I have here in the studio Mr. Srebo Kweku. He is the Director of Electoral Services with the Electoral Commission. We'll raise all the issues that have been raised in the reports we've placed so far. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's start with, so far we have about 5 issues listed. I'll just raise them with you and then you give us your thoughts as to why it happened. Let's begin with the missing names. Apparently, some people went there, could not find their name.
If I followed your news item, you read that they were saying that they didn't locate it at where they went first, but later they got them. What happened was that because we wanted to reduce the queuing, we have split the number of votes per polling station. So some places you can get A, B, C, but it's the same locality.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and when we split, we go by alphabetical order. So maybe from A to C, you are for A, then D to this, B, and D. But some people don't know their names. They'll come mention different names.
They don't know their names?
I wish some of these things you go closer and you will see. The person before you, who need him be on her. to say before you can trace, especially those without the ID cards.
Oh, wow.
Yes. There are some people, they will mention about 4 different names before you realize that the name is in.
Isn't that problematic? Does the EC not find that a bit problematic?
That's why we always insist that you better go with your voter ID card. Because if you find a voter ID card, then the ID card has a police station code there. So immediately you bring it, I will know that this is where you belong. But if you don't come with the ID card, then you have to use your name by the
spelling of your name.
So if somebody has 3 different names, which one are you looking for? And some of them, they would mention different names altogether. But if you probe them, they come out with another name. Some they say that this is the name I use in school, this is the name I use in church, this is the name I use for whatever. So some people have different names. So one is because they don't have the ID card, and 2 because of the splitting. If you split and you don't come out with the actual name, it will be difficult for you to locate, because we split according to alphabetical order, A, B, C. So if you don't know your name is B, then it's a challenge.
Is that the only problem why people can't find their name in the register? Or is there a real problem with the voter register?
Like I'm saying, following your news, that's what I realized. Because they themselves said that I have to go to 3 places before I was able to locate my name. That's what they were saying.
But then, I mean, there are other reports which we haven't played as well, which we played, for example, on our midday news, where people couldn't actually not find their name, including some of the candidates. They couldn't find their name.
Well, unless maybe the person did a transfer, and you know, when we were doing the transfers, we had challenges with the system. So we asked that we should go to the head office to do the transfer, and the list will come to the list for them to go and get a card. Some are still holding on to the old card, and the old card will, for example, if you registered in a Ashanti region, you'll be holding F, and if you come to Accra will be C. So you cannot use F to be looking for your name in C. So what do you mean that they should have gone to the office to have the new card that conforms to their new polling station? There are a lot of simple issues that people are not abiding by, and these are some of the challenges we are getting.
So then how is the EC resolving this issue?
The only thing that the people should go to the district to have their ID cards. Because once you do the transfer, we'll tell you, go to this place and pick your card. If you don't go, you can't do anything about it.
Have your officers on the ground reported this problem to you?
The
missing names, yes.
It's one that came in that I heard of it.
So they've not responded. Are they not supposed to be reporting to the police?
So anybody on the ground, because for example, there's somebody in Borga. The person is a candidate. He went and his code is 06, but he went to 07 to be looking for the name. So I have to go to our database myself, get the name, and send it to the regional director. So if you are looking for a name in the wrong place, it's like you being JoyNews here and you go to Joy FM looking for your books. You can't find it there.
Well, I hope that this is actually the problem, and that the solution, as you said, going to different places to find your name will actually help.
And the other part of it, that's why we also encourage people to take part in the exhibition. Because some of, if your name is wrongly spelled and those things, during the exhibition you can do that, corrections and those things. But if you call for exhibition, people don't go.
But then that is also creating another problem. This problem of not finding the people's names, you know, conveniently, is creating another problem where there is low voter turnout, as you're saying. Some of your officers are themselves saying, complaining. Our reporters who were on the ground have seen that it's taking a while for people to actually show up and start to vote.
And some are also saying that the turnout is also good.
Yes, but in places where the turnout is low, for example, in Agbogloshi, we also have a report from East Legon, which we will show you as well. What do you think is the problem here?
One of the officers was saying that in that place, most of them go to the market, they will come in the afternoon. So let's hope that they will be there to vote. But the most important thing is that this level election determines who become your leader at the locality. So all of us should show interest and participate so that we can elect people who can go to the assembly to represent our interests.
Let me bring in Ekumfi and what happened there. It's one of the issues, one of the outstanding issues, I believe, even from yesterday before we started the voting today. Now take a look at what happened in Ekumfi. When we come back, we'll talk about it.
scatter money na. I'm not for everywhere. How they are cost to muna. A breaky baby. Oh. Fogo guina no do.
Wansani amma ba sun ya wansani na kore iskado an bafur kore nan kan fumi a mensani ole jentu ye fie ekwawo.
So let's start with the burning of tires. They are doing that essentially. You see that they use it to block the road. And they're doing that to prevent electoral officers from entering the community to set up for the voting to happen. Eventually, they actually made this, they gave this warning a month ago. Yesterday, or this week, they repeated it. And today, they ended up carrying it. Dr. Seribo, you're seeing what happened in Ekumfi Imuna. The elections did not come off over there.
Yeah, so what happened was that we received these complaints, so we foresaw it. We informed the police. The police went there, talked to them, they were not ready to listen. So the police wrote officially to us that we should hold on as far as the election at that time is concerned.
So the police actually tried to engage them and they were not successful?
They were not ready to listen. So the police warned us to stay away from that place.
So there won't be any elections for them at all?
We didn't go there. So when they are ready, they will tell us and we'll go.
But that's disenfranchising. I mean, they have decided not to allow you, but that's also disenfranchising them because it's like you're not making any provision at all for them.
What provision can we make? You conduct elections at polling stations. The people are saying that you dare come to our town to conduct the elections. What you can do is to allow them to have their own discussions. When they are ready, they'll tell us we'll be there.
What are the candidates saying about this situation?
Such situations, if you're a candidate, you have to support them. As even when the election can vote against you. So you may not like it, but you have to pretend that you are with them.
So the candidates are supporting them?
I've not engaged the supporters, but if I'm a candidate, I will just keep quiet.
What is the EC doing, the EC as an institution doing about this situation? I mean, to what extent are you reaching out to talk to them? Because if the police went there and they did not listen to the police, how is the EC itself trying to resolve the matter?
These issues are not the work of the EC. Ours is that there should be peace. We go and conduct the election. The people are saying they don't have good roads, so they will not allow us to go there and do. So we will always stay aside. When they are ready, they will tell us to go and conduct. It's exactly the same thing that happened at in Kranza area during the DKM and the God is Life issue. We did not go in 2015. When they were ready, 2018, we went and conducted for them. That's why this time we are not doing the elections there.
So is this to send a signal to every constituency or every area that if they don't create the necessary atmosphere for the Electoral Commission to come and set up, that they will not vote?
Automatically, who will take the risk and go there? And me sitting here, I will not go, and I'll also not ask anybody to go. It will be, I don't want to use the word I wanted to use. It is trying to commit suicide.
That will be suicidal.
Yes, because look at the people. One of the videos I saw, they were brandishing cutlass that if they come, we'll cut into pieces. I said, there's a video on my phone. Then I said, I'm a strong person. I'm the Electoral Commission. I will come. I will not.
So you will not go and you will not advise your people to go?
The police is saying stay away.
Okay.
The very people who are supposed to protect you. They have written officially, not by mouth. They've written officially to us. So we always tell our people that they should stay away.
So it sounds like a helpless situation, like the Electoral Commission can't do anything.
They will come down at the right time and we'll go and do it.
I see.
But for now, we don't dare.
Well, one of the biggest questions that have come up with this is that we're seeing this, if you like, civil disobedience, essentially, where people are saying that we will not vote because you've not done our roads. And the issue of roads is a big one. We've tackled it here on JoyNews. There are several communities that have deplorable roads. So if everybody decides to disallow Electoral Commission from setting up there, what will the implication be, especially for election 2020, which is just around the corner? It's just next year. Dr. Sibra, I'll take your thoughts on it, but let me just read some messages that we have here. This one says, it's from Francis in Hohoi. He says, what is happening now with assemblymen across the country? The same thing is going to happen in 2020 because Ghanaians are fed up with politicians. They have failed their promises across the country. Look at our roads in Ghana, especially from Kuma Road to Hohoi. God should have mercy on the politicians. From Francis in Hohoi. Nasara in Tamale, you sent something that looks like a voter ballot sheet. And he said, in fact, I think the district level elections are not easy at all. Most people can't find their names on the register. And if nothing is done, the 2020 elections will be a disaster. Some candidates even provide takeaway food with their posters on them. Ghana, you say. All right. So these are some of the messages coming. People, first of all, I want to take your own thoughts on what this means for election 2020.
What I would say is that voting is a choice, and it's for you to determine who becomes your leader. Staying away doesn't mean that you are exercising your franchise. It is a right that we should always hold on to. So the issue should not be that you didn't do A, B, C, so I will not vote. Go and vote according to your preference. So abstaining from that, and it will interest you to know that if these young men were to be stopped, you will see the number of people in the village who will vote. So it's not that everybody in Ekumfi will support them, but you dare go and confront them. So they are rather disenfranchising their own people, and I don't think it is the right thing to do.
So the young men or the people in the community, but they also know that the persons in the community know they are fighting for them. It's the road, and they raise legitimate concerns about the road. So they feel that they're fighting for them. But you feel that these are the people who will end up disenfranchising those in the community.
Exactly, because the voting or not voting has nothing to do with the road. It has nothing to do. If the road will be fixed, it's not you burning the tires that will lead to.
But the point they make is that the politicians who made them promises, they believe that when they are voting for politicians, and they believe that the politicians who made the promises have not fulfilled them, and so they will not vote because they know it's eventually going to be in the interest of the politicians for them to vote.
But that is one side. The other side is that if that is the case, then I would rather deny the people who will not vote for me the facilities so that they will not vote at all and they to favor me. What about the other side? Because clearly I know that the left side will vote for me, the right side will not vote for me. Then I will deny those who will not vote for me, and they will boycott the whole election. Then the people who vote for me will vote for me, and it will go to my favor. So the solution is not you banning the ties, stopping people from voting. Let people exercise their franchise.
Okay. So the solution is not in disenfranchising others.
Exactly.
Well, this message is coming from Paya in Kade. He says, this is what politicians understand. They have taken us for granted for so long. For me, I will not even vote. So let's look at election 2020. What do you foresee? I mean, I'm sure that you have a lot of experience in this. What do you foresee if this problem, the way we've handled this problem, what do you foresee as the implication of this on election 2020?
The general elections are different ball games. The people who are burning their ties and the rest, the politicians will get to them. They will make their requests. Those requests will be met, probably not to the benefit of the community, but to the individual benefit. And they'll go and vote. That is why I don't agree that free people can take the law into their hands and decide not to allow others to vote. Because I believe that, for the majority of the people are not in favor of what they are doing. But because they are the young men there, who dare you to go and challenge them? So to me, I don't think it's a solution at all. And I can assure you, 2020 will be a different ball game. Mark it on the wall. As
in 2020, we won't have this problem of civil disobedience.
They will make the noise, but let it come. I don't know. We go around, no vote, no this, no vote, no this, no vote. But election time will come, all those posters will go.
And you're saying that when that happens, it means that those people have been, some way, somehow, those who are agitating or leading the agitation have been met by the politicians. That's what usually happens from your experience.
Some of them use that as a platform to market themselves.
To make money.
So that they become opinion leaders. They will go and negotiate.
That's what you know from your experience.
I am.
Interesting. We'll show you more reports. We've been to East Legon. We also have something from Upper West correspondent Rafik Salam. But this message is from Frank Hickson from the OT region. Frank says, what we are seeing today shows that people no more trust politicians. The turnout for 2020 election is going to be low. Okay, so you don't agree with him, obviously, I believe.
I wish you mark today.
Okay, we'll see how that goes there. Well, as I look through your messages to read some out to you, Dr. Stribo, there's still the outstanding issue of violence, a few, issues that we've had somewhere in Salaga. We've heard that someone has been stabbed in Salaga. We're still working the lines to reach our correspondent on the ground to get some more on that. But have you had a report on this from your officers?
I only saw it on your platform. Okay. So I wanted to ask what should happen that somebody should go and stab somebody. Go and express your opinion by voting for a candidate of your choice. I will also vote for the candidate of my choice. Should that bring any variance? And because of somebody is going to be elected as a union committee member or some member, you find yourself behind bars, what do you gain? So that's what I'm saying. I am somebody who does not support various means of solving any problem at all. They rather perpetuate them instead of solving them. So go and express your view. I will vote for you because of these reasons. I will not vote for you because of these reasons. You have your view, I should also have my view. So don't try to impose yours on me. It's only when I try to impose my views on you that leads to this variance that we are talking about. And in a civilized society, such things should not be tolerated.
So far, there hasn't been any reports from your officers?
Not yet.
From your officers to the Electoral Commission?
Not yet.
Okay, like I said, we're working the lines to get to our correspondent on the ground to get that feedback. Let's talk about the low voter turnout. Okay, I think that's one of the issues that we've addressed already. Yes, but the thing about violence, we also heard that in Sawaba, for example, there was some sort of confusion. And apart from that, in other places, there's a Ghana card registration that's ongoing. People are actually massing up at the Ghana card registration, and they're not really bothering to vote.
I've not seen those things. So.
You've not heard that one as well?
I know the Ghana card registration is in Ashanti region, but I've not had the...
Yes, in the Ashanti region, that's where Sawaba is.
I know that as we speak, they are doing the registration in Ashanti region, but the issue of people massing up to register and not voting doesn't come to my notice.
That's the report our correspondents are bringing.
No, we are talking of, we have time frame. So I will I'm already in the queue. And there will be longer queues in the national identification than the voting. So maybe if I'm in the queue, I want to finish that before I come on.
There are longer queues. That's what the report says. There are longer queues at the Ghana card.
Because they will have fewer centers as compared to the Electoral Commission.
But couldn't there have been an understanding or an arrangement between the Electoral Commission and the NHI, the National Identification Authority, so that they could have, suspended the Ghana card registration at least for today whilst you do the election?
That collaboration was in there, but what I believe in that there are no queues in the voting lines, so you can easily combine the two and if you wanted to do it.
Okay.
Look at this place. There are queues there. So that's what I'm saying. That. And one thing, I think that I said that in the urban areas, we normally have lower voter turnout. But in the rural areas, they have direct contact with the assembly members and the committee. So in most cases, they have a big, higher turnout. And always, the Secretary Akada has the list.
Okay, I'll take you to the Upper West region where Rafiq Salam sent us a report. But this texter says is Nassar Emmanuel in Tamale. He says if names are missing from the voters register, it's a sign that the EC has to sit up, because should this happen in the general elections, it can cause confusion. I think the EC should explain why their names are not in the register. Nassar sends that. Let's go to the Upper West region. Rafiq Salam reports.
Most electoral officers for the district level election in the one municipality arrive at the polling centers before the scheduled startup time. They have their electoral materials and their tables set up for them to start. To their surprise, the biometric verification machines failed to work, thereby angering the dozens of prospective voters who came to the polling station after performing the Muslim dawn prayers. This polling station, located at Limairi, is one of the heavily populated polling stations in the region with a population of 812.
Because if you have old women who are supposed to go to the market and they are queued here, and we don't get what they're supposed to do, because we just came after removing the equipment and the machine, we are told that the biometric equipment is not working, which is not supposed to be the case, because they were supposed to test them before packing them to be dispatched to the polling station. So if after just removing them, nothing has happened, they haven't even started, and we are told that it's not working, we are not happy at all, it's not normal.
For one of the candidates in the electoral area, Rauf Sita, the irregularities experienced at the polling station is a deliberate attempt to disenfranchise the people.
And extending the time is not a problem. Some people are business people and they want to get to the market. So if they have waited for a very long time and there's no anything going on, then they might decide to go out, because many at times people don't like to come out for this assembly election. So if they have to waste much of their business time, precious times here, I don't think they will allow that.
A disappointed presiding officer of the Limairi Ahmadiyya Mosque, Yusuf Abdul Karim Baba, for over an hour struggled to fix the biometric verification machine, but failed. He has no other option than to call the head of the Electoral Commission's technical team in the municipality, Luis Atta, to come to his rescue.
Yeah, it's not working, so we are trying to change the device. We've called for backup, and it's almost...
Places like this is one of the heavily populated areas in the electoral area.
Yeah.
812 people are expected to vote in this electoral area, and you don't have a backup.
We have a backup. We've distributed the main device, but the backup is also going around. So it's on its way coming. Maybe 5 minutes time, the backup will be around.
A backup verification machine was bought and voting final started few minutes after 9 a.m. The situation at the Methodist polling station wasn't anything better, as voting in the separate electoral area has been postponed. Only electoral materials for the unit committee elections were found. Ballot papers for the assembly members conspicuously mentioned. Ali Osmanu Adamu is the Upper West Regional Director of the Electoral Commission.
Unfortunately, it was not received and we are not aware. So this morning I was told that that particular ballot paper for the electoral area was not there. So we went to the center and we established the truth that yes, the ballot papers were not there. So we reported to Accra, and they asked us to send samples of the notices of poll for the ballot papers to be reprinted. So as of now, the printers are printing the ballot papers for them to airlift it to us. So that if it arrives today, then tomorrow we'll conduct that election. But if it doesn't arrive today, maybe the following day, we can then conduct the election.
A little over 87,000 people are expected to cast their ballots in 31 electoral areas in the one municipality. 96 of the people, including a female who penciled their name for the elections, will know their fate at the close of polls. The election is not only going to be keenly contested, but is expected to divide friends and leave families feuding. Reporting for JoyNews, Rafiq Salam.
Rafiq Salam filed that report. So, Dr. Sribo, you've seen what happened there. He says the machines, the biometric verification machines were faulty when they brought them.
You see, we have 31,000, about 31,500 polling stations, and we have deployed 58,000 BVDs. So almost 20,000 are there for standby. So at times it is the distribution and the technical aspect. You should know where to put them. And I'm happy to hear the guy was saying that within the next 5 minutes, the new BVD will be there.
But that's going to take another time. And you heard the regional director say that the election will have to, as if it doesn't come today,
no, that
they will
one
have
was
to.
about ballot paper.
But ballot paper.
Exactly.
Okay, so the point is that if you don't have something, enough supplies, then it means that the election is going to go into the next day.
It depends on the material concern. The BVD one, there were backups, so the election will go on. But there was a specific electoral area where they didn't get the ballot paper.
Okay.
And that's why I'm surprised, because they got the ballot papers about a week ago. So when you get them, you are supposed to check. If you check and you have any deficiency, let us know. That it's like the officer just took them and dumped them somewhere.
So they are now realizing that it's not enough.
The day for the election that they read that they didn't get this one.
So how long will it take them to get the ballot papers?
Like you said, they have sent the notice of poll to us. So tomorrow we should be able to print them tomorrow.
Okay, and that means in that particular area in the Upper West region, they'll have to continue voting tomorrow.
So they will not vote at all.
They will not vote at all
because the ballot
until
they
have enough.
Not enough. It was not there at all. They had a union committee, but the disassembly one didn't go.
Okay. So they should have checked for everything.
Exactly.
So that on the D-Day, which is today, they would have done their distribution.
Exactly.
How is this going to disrupt or affect your plans?
Oh, it will not, because the whole of this year we don't have any other activity. So we have what we call even tie break. The tie break is where, especially with the union committee, the fifth position will be tied. So we were supposed to break them on the 20th and the 27th. So we have time for searching to rectify before we break. Okay,
I'll take you to East Legon. But this one says, I am not surprised of the happenings in Ekumfi. If I have my own way, I would equally distract activities in Bumprugu, Nakwanduri constituency because of the poor nature of our roles in election 2020. This is from Combat in Nakwanduri. Combat, you can't do that. You can't take the law in your own hands, because if you do, the law will the consequences from the law will also get to you. So you don't want to get there at all. But we're still taking your messages on your expectations or what you think, what is happening right now, or the implications it will have. What do you think are the implications for what is happening right now in the district level elections for election 2020? We've seen what happened in the Upper West region. We've been here in the capital as well. We've taken you to the central region in Ekumfi, where some men have been agitating. Well, the Electoral Commission, as you heard Dr. Shribor says, think when the people are ready, they will settle down for them to come in. For now, they are not a part of the elections. Let's go to East Legon, from where Ifwa Evans Chinnery reports. Okay, let me take some more messages as we go along. We'll take a quick break as we go also. This message is, you don't add your name, but it says the EC is totally not prepared for the district level elections for the delay of ballot box and papers. There were some delays as well, Dr. Sribo. I'm not sure if you agree with this texter. He says from what he has seen, it looks like the EC is not prepared.
I don't know what he meant by not being prepared.
Because of the late arrival of some of the material.
You see, we are talking of 31,000 plus polling stations. Automatically, you have some few delays. Every time that we do election, these are common. Some would delay by 30 minutes, some by 1 hour, but quarter by 8 o'clock we should be able to start. And for voting, 1,000 people can vote within 5 hours, and we use 8 hours. So the delayance will not affect the voting at all.
It will not affect it?
No, like the most important, you be at the polling station. If you go to the polling station, and let's assume that we will start at 9 o'clock, by 3, 4, the place will be empty. So would
they extend the time?
It's not the best anyway. It's not the best. We don't press you delay, but what I'm saying that even when it delays, we'll have enough time to cover everybody. And we don't extend in the sense that, assuming that you start at 12, once you are in the queue up to 5 o'clock, you'll be allowed to vote. So you don't say that because it has delayed, I will also come after 5. You come after 5, you will not be allowed to join the queue. But once you are in the queue, you'll be allowed to vote.
Does it not send signals like this texter is saying that the EC, even for the district level elections, is encountering this problem, that the EC is not necessarily prepared for 2020, which is just around the corner?
We have not gotten into 2020.
But we're almost there. We're just a few months. We're just like 12 months.
Yes, 12 months is not true. 12 months is not true.
For an election for the entire country.
A lot of things will change. No, but it is one of the best organized district level elections. There were times we were talking of tot. Have you heard of that? So
what's tot?
Oh, I think in 2002. The journalists gave it a tot elections. This time we realized that we are covering almost everybody, few of them not having it. So it's not the best to be late, but I think that this one is one of the best organized district level elections that I've witnessed.
I see. Well, we'll be wrapping up shortly, but some more messages here. Good evening. I think the EC is not helping us with this assembly elections. You know, people do not have interest in these assembly elections. And instead of collaborating with NCCE to create awareness long before, rather wait when the time is near and then you start publicity. That's from Nana Mensah in Sekune or Sekendi. If you like. Will the delays occur in 2020? EC Bismarck from Georgia is asking. Bismarck, that response has been given. He says it will not happen. He says so far this is one of the best elections they've organized, and that the delays are mostly between 30 minutes to 1 hour, and it will not occur in election 2020. Come to Volta region and see what is happening at Hohoi. People are not coming out to vote at all. People are complaining about their roads. Okay, Francis again. And the EC says, if it's about your roads, there's nothing they can do about it. They organize elections. So if it's about your roads, they can't do much about it. Please, JoyNews should help us. Says, okay, this turnout is even small. Come 2020, we the youth will not vote. For example, graduate unemployment is too high, and we those working in NAPCO for 2 months now, no payment. So I should go and vote for this politician. You're asking, Kobe from Kumasi. Well, I'll wrap up with Dr. Srebo shortly. Let's see President Ekumfi and his vice, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, when they went out today to cast their vote. When we come back, we'll wrap up on the conversation.
Please, you go this way before they are that. Mama, this is your left and then
So that's President Ekumfi and his wife, Rebecca Ekumfi, there voting earlier today. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia also, the president voted in his hometown in Chebi. Well, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia also voted in Wale Wale. Those are pictures from Wale Wale, where the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, cast his vote earlier today. Well, if you haven't yet voted, there is still time for you to step out and vote. And the EC encourages you to go out there and vote for your district level executive. Dr. Sribo, let's wrap up the conversation. We've spoken about the violence. You said most of them have not been reported to the EC so far. We've spoken about the missing names. You said it's about zoning, because some people won't find their name in a specific zone they know, but they surely will find it in another zone, which is what the problem is.
No,
but
the same police station, no?
the same, but a different zone in terms of the alphabets.
Yes, exactly.
In terms of the alphabets, yes, that's what I meant. Okay, and then we've also spoken about Ekumfi and what happened there. He says that as and when the people are ready, the Electoral Commission will go there and conduct those elections. But he believes that the people who are, the young people who are blocking the EC from coming to that place are actually the ones disenfranchising the people. Are you worried by the way that the police couldn't do much, but just to say you should not go there?
You see, what the police could do was to force the people to stop, and it can lead to crashes, and we want to avoid bloodshed.
Okay.
Because if the police want to, if you can say we have the military standby, you can push them there and they can. But you know, if you go and the people are stubborn, it leads to entire confrontation, and at the end of the day, we are the people who say that they could have avoided it. Okay. So let's avoid it, and they will come to appreciate that what they are doing will not help anybody's cause. So when they are ready, we'll go and do it for them.
When they're ready, we'll go and do it for them. That's for what's happening in Ekumfi. But we've also had the bigger conversation about the implications of this for election 2020. He says election 2020 will not be like this. He's actually asked me to mark it somewhere, you know, like we say it here in Ghana. He says it will not happen in election 2020 because he believes that these people who usually agitate will some way, somehow get to negotiate with the politicians against whom they are agitating. From his experience, he says that's what happened. We've also spoken about faulty machines. He says there is enough backup to deal with it. So, Doc, let me take your final words as we wrap up.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I always say that nobody should lose any blood because of an election. Election is expression of ideas, expression of choices. I may like A, you also like B. So if you don't like A and I like A, that doesn't mean that I'm not smart. And I should also condemn yours. You may have your reason for going for your choice, and I should also have my reason for going for my choice. Under no circumstance should I stop you from exercising your franchise. It is my right to vote. It is also right to vote. So nobody should stop anybody from going to vote. And I can assure Ghanaians that all these things are also part of learning. People, certain things will happen. It will help us to take different decisions going forward. So I am convinced that we are delivering, and I think it's one of the best elections so far. Unlike previously, where even on the day of election, you will be carrying by the ballot papers and the rest. So,
but wouldn't you say there are lessons, key lessons that you have learned from this?
I've already said that.
So what are those lessons?
Some of the lessons are there. For example, if I'm the one who distributed the material and I got there late, if I took about 4 and I was late, next time I should take up before 4. Okay. So these are some of the things. And I believe that, for example, we were not able to produce 2 BVDs per center. Even though we have backup, the backup cannot meet 2 per center. So this one is telling us that we should try as much as possible in 2020. Go with at least 2 BVDs per center. So when one is 40, the other one could be used. So we don't have to wait for somebody to bring us any BVD from somewhere.
Lessons learned. Election 2020 is just around the corner. No bloodshed is expected. We expect that the process will be smooth. You're still watching The Pulse with me, Gifty Amdo up here.